Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this meeting of the Sedalia City Council to order for December 15th, 2025. I would like to call for legislative prayer and pledge of allegiance, please.
Would you stand as able and join me in our invocation this evening? Let us pray. Dear Lord and Father of us all, we come to you this evening to ask your guidance as the Sedalia City Council. Mayor, administrator, ward members, staff meet to hear about, question, discuss, and make decisions for the betterment of our city. We are grateful for their dedication and service to this community. We ask your protection for all of our first responders who work 24/7 to serve and protect us, often at their own peril. We are grateful for the United States of America, this constitutional republic, for which so many thousands have fought and died to create and preserve for these 250 years. We reflect on their sacrifice. Please bless and protect all of our military and civilians serving this great country today, here and throughout the world, and bring them home safely. As we enter this season now with Christmas, New Year's, with so many people traveling, we ask protection for all travelers, that they all reach destinations and come home safely from those travels. And as we leave tonight, please protect us and our loved ones. Keep us from harm until we meet again. And all this is prayed in the name of our risen Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Robinson.
Yes.
Ames.
Here.
Scribner.
Yes.
Bogus.
Here.
Hiller.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Foster.
Here.
Franklin.
Here. Okay, all present. Next, we'll be holding a public meeting on the strategic plan and budget for fiscal year 26 to 27. Clerk Meyer, has anyone signed up to speak?
We have one.
I would also like to add that during this time, if you speak, we are only going to be speaking on the strategic plan and the budget, please. Thank you.
We had one individual sign up to talk on this, Kevin Patton.
Kevin, you may take the podium. And please state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Kevin Patton, 26115 Highway BB, Houstonia, Missouri. I know, of course, I live actually in the Pettis County, and I know, of course, I don't actually be a city resident, but I'm also a Pettis County resident. So that actually qualifies me actually to be able to voice my opinion. I'll go ahead and talk with you about this. Let me go ahead, first of all, go ahead and give you some more information.
Sir, you may not approach. We ask that you stay there. Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and do this right here,
Kevin.
and I'll let you go ahead and be able to just look at it and check and see if
He'll
exactly
help
what
you
it
just one
happens.
second.
And if you have anything that actually, sure, you can. Matter of fact, there you go.
Thank you.
I'm actually just ready to tell them that actually, if my voices have not been heard and things are not being able to be addressed, then I'm ready to file a complaint against the city, and I'm ready to go ahead and follow through with it. Necessarily next is that if there are actually petitions and there are also other documents that necessarily should actually be done for the.
Excuse me, sir. This time is to speak on the. This is the public hearing.
Okay.
So your comments need to be about the strategic plan and the budget.
Well, believe it or not, actually, there were also other things that were regarding the minutes, also for the previous minutes and other things that were discussed previously. And necessarily, that is a problem that we need to be able to address. Because necessarily, there are things that in the previous minutes that could have been able to have been discussed, but did not. So I can be able to beg to differ with you. So I will leave this right here, and I will let you go ahead and decide exactly how you want to proceed. But I will give the city 60 days to be able to decide exactly what they want to do. From there, I will pursue on, be able to do a complaint. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Jason, has anyone else signed up to
That was
speak?
it.
Nope.
That's all I
Would
wanted.
anyone else like to speak at this time? Nope. Okay, I'm going to close that public hearing. And let's see. Now I would entertain a motion to approve the previous council meeting minutes.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Those in favor? Thank you. Now I would entertain a motion to accept the Citizens Traffic Advisory Commission minutes.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any all in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay, now let's move on to our standing committees, first of which is Public Safety. Chairman Scribner, you have the floor.
Thank you. There are 2 items of consideration through public safety. The first one is Sedalia Pettis County EMA Director Tricia Rhoda will provide her annual report to the council.
Good evening.
No, just wink. Yes, that'll work. Nod your head, anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm Tricia, and I'm Sedalia in Pettis County's Emergency Manager Director. What is EMA? So as you can see, we do a lot of stuff in the background. A lot of my job has to do with organization and management of resources. If an incident gets too big, the resources come through my office and we divvy them out. I do a lot with the building and sustaining to improve the capability to mitigate against, prepare for, respond to, and recover from any of the natural disasters that we could have or man-made disasters. So I won't read all of these to you, but what we do a lot, I have the EMA volunteer program. I'll talk about them more later. We have the National Weather Service Storm Spotters. We hold a lot of trainings. We were very fortunate this year that we did have a lot of trainings offered in Sedalia. And then we did some exercises. And one of my favorite programs is Pedro the Preparedness Penguin program. It's really good to get kids thinking about what they can do to prepare, get them interacted with their parents. And we have free coloring books and it's a game. So it's just a great public outreach. So if you know of any businesses, make sure they hit me up. I attend a lot of coalitions and collaboration meetings. As you can see, we go to Mid-America. It's just good that all the information is flowing. So 2025, just hit on a little bit. Our LEOP is our Local Emergency Operations Plan. Every 2 years it gets audited by the state, but throughout the year we continuously update it. I meet with all the key stakeholders to keep that plan flowing. And then the new Madrid Seismic Zone and the preparation meetings. It's a Zoom call because it's a lot of people all over the state of Missouri just to get that plan going because our state fair grounds is a respite zone, meaning people once they get delivered will fill their cars, fix any tires, and then move them out if they need additional sheltering. So that's a monster plan. And then we work with the National Weather Service, and we're on the weather team. And so they have a training throughout the year that we train with the actual newscasters that you see on the TV. And they are telling us like what they want to hear from us. So when they're interrupting the Chiefs game and it's tied, they don't want to be interrupting the Chiefs game. So they describe to us like what they need for information. So that's a really good activity. And then we also do community outreach throughout the year and trainings for civilians if they would like. Our EMA volunteers. So all these guys volunteer their time. We have about 25 volunteers. We're always looking for new volunteers. They do all our storm spotting. They had 140 hours this year that they donated to us. We had about 44 training hours for storm spotting, just for that storm spotting class. And just our siren testing is 105 man hours. And most of those people are actually in Sedalia listening for the siren. These are just some interesting facts. So this is focused on Sedalia. So our frost warning last week. We had 65 weather advisories for so far in 2025, 26 severe thunderstorm watches or warnings. And we start monitoring these storms way before they get to Pettis County. So a lot of times we're watching them when they're in Oklahoma, Kansas. So we had 52 storm monitoring hours that we kept track of. This year was not as bad as last year. We only had 8 tornado watches or warnings. but that was about 23 hours of storm spotters, like actually out throughout Pettis County and Sedalia to keep track of those storms. So every time we have a tornado watch or a warning, we open up our FEMA storm shelters. So you guys have 2 of them that I manage, and then you also have one at the school. I think I already said that. Your guys' monthly testing is the first Wednesday of every month at noon. Some people really like it, some people don't. But yeah, we put something out on Facebook, so if you do hear a siren, please message us, let us know that you do hear a siren, because Sedalia has a lot of sirens. And we just rotate every month to make sure that they're all functioning correctly. This is just a refresher of equipment that I have to offer. If anybody needs to borrow this, just call me. We have the egg trailer, which has portable dog carts. We have medium and large. We have all the PPE, if anything would happen there. We have a big 60 kilowatt generator trailer, several small. I have about 3 small generators, 2 big, the blow up prism light towers. We also have like 1 portable LED light. Law enforcement sometimes borrows it. It's pretty powerful. It lasts 6 to 8 hours. And it's LED versus the prisms are not. I have 2 portable heaters, 2 portable air conditioners. We have a mobile command post tent and 2 Moswin portables. The Emergency Performance Grant. We call it EMPG in the EMA world. So this is a federal grant that goes to the state of Missouri. That goes to the state of Missouri. And then SEMA, which is State Emergency Management, takes that grant, and it's about 50%, and it comes to EMA. And every year we're getting a little bit less. So right now it's just focused on, it's almost 50% of current salaries. If you are in the EMA office, you have to pay attention to the stipulations of the exercises. So that grant would have started July 1st, and it hasn't been approved yet. Some of that had to do with the government shutdown, and hopefully in the next month it'll get approved, because we're already in the second quarter. So we're just waiting on that grant. So, and this is my 2026 budget estimates. So overall the budget is around $209,000, and it's a 2.8 decrease from last year. You guys hear that a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. EMPG coverage, this is just, I'm guessing last year we got about 48,000. I'm guessing 51,000, but just know that it is a guesstimate, because they have cut back on some of the FEMA grants. So there's a county portion, Sedalia portion. So actually I think with the numbers, it was almost like 3% decrease. So it'll be just a little bit over 67,000 this year. So the one thing for new equipment, last year, the police department worked with me, and through a grant, we got a portable, not a portable, we got a Moswin radio for my truck. And then this year we have 2 portables, and I wanted to get an additional 3rd. So this is one of my only like big equipment purchases this year. It'll be around $8,100, $8,200 will be the Moswin radio. So we have 3, and currently we have 2 people that are employed at my department. And I have applied for grants. I have not been funded for a Moswin radio yet. So looking forward in 2026, the big projects that we're doing this year is we're actually having set downs with our churches and seeing if they want to be a shelter, and what they have for resources at these churches, and if they have any volunteers. Are they trained? Do they need any training? How many volunteers would be available? You guys have a lot of churches in Sedalia, so, but it's just really time consuming, but it's a really good thing to just have a face down with them and not going through an email or a phone call. Has anybody heard of the 2026 FIFA World Cup? There's a lot of planning with state emergency management, with Kansas City. They're going to have they need a lot of help because it's for a month and a half. It's June, July. What the city should focus on is if you guys have any big major events planned, people need to book their hotels now. Those will be up. I know like Boone County, Columbia, Kansas City, all the way to Lee Summit are already full for June and July. You can't get a hotel. And I think Amtrak's going to have 2 additional, I don't think it's set in stone, but 2 additional trains that are going to go to Kansas City. So looking through coordinating a pet plan. So we worked on an exercise we just did a couple weeks ago, and we opened up a shelter and we got the cots out, made sure we knew still how to run the cots, and then how far is the cot supposed to be from the next cot, and then what happens when somebody brings a pet in, because I have a pet trailer, but as far as anything after that, it's a very broad plan. How are you going to identify the dogs with their owners? What if somebody has a pet allergy? So we're meeting with all the key stakeholders to have more of an ingrained plan. These are the facilities that we're going to use, what checkoff lists that we need. And then throughout the year, we do a lot of presenting and briefing to the community, organizations, businesses, anybody that calls and asks, we're more than willing to speak at their safety meetings. Do I have any questions?
Council, do you have any questions?
I do have one. You were saying something in regards to church sites. I know that my church for many, many years, we allowed individuals to come in to our basement during a tornado, and we were told by our insurance company to stop because we weren't covered for that. If we were to go back to that, is there a special circumstance? Is there something that we could look into to make sure that we would be covered should we need to be covered? They were thinking if an individual was in the church and they actually got hurt in the church during the tornado, that they could sue us. And so that's why our insurance said no.
I apologize, I do not have that information. I think that's more of an insurance question. If you guys would open up your church for like a shelter, if we had a power outage, if you went under Red Cross, then you are covered underneath their insurance.
Okay.
And I have noticed that when you do talk to churches, they won't open up for a shelter unless you get Red Cross involved because of the insurance issues.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have any other questions? No?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Our second item is the police department is requesting authorization from the city council to destroy the 2017 case offense records that have met the required retention period. These records have been reviewed and verified for destruction by the department's records supervisor following the Missouri Municipal Government Records Manual. Staff respectfully recommends approval of this records destruction request.
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. All right, that's all for public safety. We will now move on to finance and administration. Chairwoman Bogus, I give you the floor, ma'am.
Thank you very much. We have one item for consideration tonight, and that is a presentation for our revenue collection trends by Ms. Jessica.
Good evening.
Good evening. So we're looking at the second chart of numbers here on the graph for fiscal year to date. This is reporting October sales at the store locations. Net sales and use tax is higher fiscal year to date by almost $193,000 or 1.3% higher. We had budgeted a 4% increase, so this is a budget variance of negative $390,000. Marijuana tax is an additional 3% sales tax that the voters voted in and started at the registers in October of 2023. This is our first full year-over-year comparison, so we're up fiscal year to date over the same period last year of almost $34,000. The franchise tax is lower fiscal year to date. This is primarily due to the electric tax, which is down almost $493,000 fiscal year to date. Transportation tax is higher due to an increase in gasoline tax of 11.2% fiscal year to date, an increase in vehicle sales tax of 6.2%, and an increase in vehicle fees of 1.1% fiscal year to date. Property tax payments, we've collected less than we did the same time last year, but the majority of these payments do come in December and January, so we'll have a good look in the next 2 months on that. Any questions?
Council, do you have any questions? No? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our presentations.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, now we will move on to Public Works. Chairwoman Franklin, you have the floor.
We have 3 items. The first one is Utilities Director William Bracken will provide a strategic budget planning presentation to City Council for both water and wastewater. These annual presentations highlight the department's vision and priorities for upcoming year in order to give council an opportunity to discuss future needs and share input.
Good evening.
Hello.
Okay, so we'll get right into this. Excuse me, I've been kind of ill. But coughing on you. So water demand has steadily increased and is up 40% over the last 4 years. Our water comes from 6 wells at the water treatment plant, as well as 4 within our water system. The personnel at the water treatment plant has stayed the same.
Just nod at me.
Go ahead. Okay. And with your guys' help, we added 2 additional positions to our water staff this year. That's to better handle the street and lawn repairs that are needed and caused by our leaks. We also completed more digs this year than we have in the past. 420 planned digs, along with 153 emergencies in this 12-month period, and that's a really big number for our staff. So we're proceeding through with the replacement of all our older water meters. We had some AMCO water meters that whenever we did our meter project in 2011, they weren't replaced at that time because they were less than 5 years old. They're reaching the end of their 20 to 25 year expected life, and there was around 2,500 left, so we chose not to do them all at once. We've been working through them about 500 a year to try to get them completed before they completely fail. And we're about 1/3 of the way through the entire city with completion on that project. Go ahead. Okay, this is the list of our replacement projects for water plant for the next 3 to 5 years. These have all been identified as problem areas, either because of fire flow or frequent breaks. The list is evolving as we go because we log when we have breaks and we find additional problems, we log that, and then we try to put them in order of severity and work on the most severe areas first. Okay, and with wastewater, we processed 1.6 billion gallons of wastewater in the last 12 months. It's up a small amount over last year, not as much as the water. It'd be higher if it wasn't for the dry weather. We kind of had dry weather, which drives a lot of the total for the wastewater plants due to rain flows, inflows into the system. Staff's remained at the same level here. There's a few key vacancies on that that we're trying to fill now, that the crew does quite a bit with the minimal staff that it has. And there hasn't been any major changes in the amount of staff on the water pollution control side. I put this in because I found it interesting. We've been doing a lot of these. We've got the equipment to regrout a lot of the old brick manholes, and it's something that staff can do on kind of short notice because we'll just keep the materials on hand. It does quite a bit to prevent inflow during rain events because, you know, the manhole, the top of it's closer to the surface of the ground, so that's where the rain's going to flow in first. It seeps underground. And it also stabilizes the structure, which will get more life out of it for minimal return on investment. So this is our list of collection system improvements that we're wanting to get done. This is more of a 10-year list as opposed to 3 to 5 for the water. A lot of these are bigger projects due to the material that was originally used to construct the lines, being clay and brick. If you notice, there's a lot of them that are downtown and in older parts of town. And also this one's evolving as we kind of go through and find more things and see collapses in the lines. At the end, I included the continued SCADA upgrades. We're about halfway finished with upgrading SCADA for all of our lift stations and the plants And that's a bigger project. We've been working through it piece by piece to try to get it all integrated into the same SCADA. It's in different areas now. Okay. Last year, whenever I was up here, we were in the middle of a $2.5 million project at Central Plant with aeration improvements. It was done to better process the waste and meet some new requirements that were given out. That's since been completed. And also here last month, we brought our new press online and we're able to press solids at Central Plant. We'd been renting a press for a couple of years and it was good to get it out of the way and have our own again. So recently the EPA and DNR mandated that we update our pretreatment program. It's spurred by an order of consent for a failing North Plant. It's been a problem for a while. It's a tough topic. On one hand, you want to encourage the growth of the industries by keeping fees low, but on the other, you have to balance the cost to the ratepayers because anything that's not paid by the industrial user is going to have to be paid by the residential ratepayer. The new proposed fees that we're proposing would help to recover some of the costs of sampling and administration in our pretreatment system. The true testing expenses that we have are actually multiple times what the proposed fees are going to be set at, and that by requiring pretreatment, we're cutting millions off the proposed price tag of the potential new wastewater treatment plant. We've been working towards plans to either build a new North Plant or expand the Central Plant for a couple of years. We believe that it would save the ratepayers quite a bit if we consolidate both plants into one and expand the Central Plant. We've had difficulties finding a plan that suited our needs and budget, and it's been a long process. We recently decided to move to the construction management at risk process, which is similar to the one being used at the FAB facility. This allows a contractor to be involved in the engineering process and create savings during the design process. This also meant that we had to rebid the project. So we're currently in the process of picking an engineering firm to do the CMAR process. I've included the timeline for the new plant upgrades at the bottom. You can look it over. So we should be, by the end of the year, have the design of the plant, and equipment, engineer, and a contractor figured out. Questions?
Council, do you have any questions?
I had a question on that last slide. You had 2026 on the bottom, and that was the completion of just design and development phase, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I have a question. When they shut down the North Plant, we're planning on building a bigger plant or make the other two plants bigger, or what?
Yeah, Central Plant will be expanded, and then we'll shut down the plant at North and basically build a pump station there just to pump what would have been going to the Central Plant facility.
All right, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Oh, I did have one more. How short are you on staffing? Did you say you had 2 positions open? I missed it on your slide. We went by
There's
kinda
at least
quick.
2 open on the I think we got a couple of positions open on the dig crew for the collections, wastewater collections team. And there's a couple positions open on the water distribution staff as well. We've been actually retaining employees pretty well. We were down quite low for some time, but there's kind of just a regular turnaround with this type of work. So.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? Is that it, Council? All right.
Thank you.
Second item, a citizen requested installation of a 3-way stop at West 2nd Street and South Missouri Avenue due to visibility concerns. The Traffic Advisory Commission reviewed the request at its October 15th meeting and agreed that repainting the non-parking zone on the northwest corner of the intersection would better address the sightline issue. However, no action was taken at that time regarding a stop sign. At the November 15th meeting, Commission formally considered the installation of the three-way stop and unanimously voted to deny the request. The request now sits with Council for a final decision.
Okay, I'd like to please call for the reading of Bill number 2025-380.
Bill number 2025-380. An ordinance establishing a three-way stop sign at the intersection of West 2nd Street and South Missouri Avenue.
I'd entertain a motion. Seeing none? Okay, well, that dies if no one has a motion or a second. So that bill fails.
Our third item, the Utility Department requests approval of one-year contracts for sodium hypochlorite, ammonium hydroxide, and hydrofluorosilicic acid, all of which are essential chemicals required for drinking water treatment and fluoridation. Formal bids were publicly advertised with competitive response received for each chemical. Hawkins Incorporated submitted the lowest bids for both sodium hypochlorite, ammonium hydroxide, while Brentic Southwest Inc. submitted the lowest bid for HFC acid. All proposed contracts amounts are already accounted for in the fiscal 26 budget. Staff recommends awarding the contracts to the respective low bidders and authorizing the purchase of these chemicals for the upcoming year.
Let's see. So we have two bills for this. I would please like to call for the reading of Bill number 2025-381.
Bill number 2025-381. An ordinance approving and accepting a bid for the purchase of hydrofluorosilicic acid to be utilized by the Sedalia Water Department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Is there any council discussion? No? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Bill number 2025-381. An ordinance approving and accepting a bid for the purchase of hydrofluorosilicic acid to be utilized by the Sedalia Water Department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ames,
Yes.
Scribner,
Yes.
Bogus,
Yes.
Hiller,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
All in favor.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Bill number 2025-382, please.
Bill number 2025-382. An ordinance approving and accepting bids for the purchase of sodium hypochlorite and ammonium hydroxide to be utilized by the Sedalia Water Department.
Second reading.
Second.
Got a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Bill number 2025-382. An ordinance approving and accepting bids for the purchase of sodium hypochlorite and ammonium hydroxide to be utilized by the Sedalia Water Department.
Final passage.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Scribner,
Yes.
Bogus,
Yes.
Hiller,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Ames.
Yes.
All in favor.
Motion passes. Thank you. Let's see, we have nothing under community development tonight. And so that brings us to liquor licenses.
We have 3 renewal licenses tonight. Mandeep Kaur doing business as Sedalia 66 at 120 East 16th for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Adam McMillan doing business as Walmart store number 219 at 3201 West Broadway for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. And Kathy Getz doing business as Break Time number 3079 at 2801 West Broadway for packaged liquor.
Motion to approve in block.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay, now we get to miscellaneous items from city council or mayor or city administrator. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to talk about?
I'd like to ask our city administrator, do we have any update on the viaduct progress?
They are still working towards starting at any time with the improvement in the weather. He's working on getting the steel. That's one section that he is waiting on is the actual, excuse me, the steel for the repair. He's waiting for that to come in.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have anything? No? Okay. We will move on to the good and welfare portion. This time, we've set aside for residents of Sedalia to address the City Council directly. As a reminder, anyone wishing to speak must have signed up in advance using the form located in the lobby prior to the start of the meeting. That form requires your name, address, telephone number, and the agenda item you wish to address. Comments must relate to items on tonight's agenda unless a formal written request to speak on a non-agenda topic was submitted at least 2 business days in advance. Each speaker will be allowed up to 3 minutes to present their remarks. Please clearly state your name and address for the record when you come to the microphone. This is not a time for debate or dialogue with council members. The council chamber is a limited public forum and all remarks must be directed to the council as a whole. I would remind everyone that personal attacks on specific employees by name or title are not permitted. If you wish to file a formal complaint, you may do so in writing through the city clerk's office. Disruptive behavior such as shouting, refusing to yield the floor, or blocking the view of others will not be tolerated. Your comments tonight will be recorded as part of the official public record. We thank you for cooperation in maintaining decorum and for your continued participation in the civic life of our city. Clerk Meyer, could you please tell me if we have anybody that has signed up to speak tonight?
Yes, we have one individual for an agenda items and one for non-agenda. On the agenda items, Kevin Patton. No? Okay. That's the only one for agenda items.
Okay.
Non-agenda items, Debbie Covington. She wants to talk about the mayor conduct on December 1.
Okay, Mrs. Covington, you may approach.
Debbie Covington, P.O. Box 965 here in Sedalia. Mayor Pro Tem, council members, I want to begin by expressing how deeply disappointed I am in what occurred at the last city council meeting. When a mayor raises his voice, repeatedly bangs the gavel, and shuts down a constituent who is attempting to engage on a matter already being discussed by a council member, Mr. Scribner, that is not leadership, it is intimidation. Free speech and the First Amendment do not exist only when speech is comfortable or agreeable. Free speech exists specifically to protect the public when emotions are high and questions are difficult. The mayor's role is to preside with restraint, neutrality, and respect. That did not happen. Earlier tonight, I attended a Missouri Department of Natural Resources public forum at the Heckert Community Center. Emotions were high, there was strong personalities, strong language, and passionate disagreement. Yet the DNR officials and commissioners and even Presidio handled it well. They listened, they maintained control, they did not shut people down. In fact, they ultimately answered questions they initially had not planned to answer. That is restraint and that is leadership. I also need to address another incident from the last city council meeting. I personally observed Mr. Dawson move towards a seated constituent freelance reporter who was lawfully taking photographs from his seat. And he made physical contact by forcefully placing an object in the reporter's space. Regardless of intent, aggressive physical behavior by an elected official toward a member of the public is an inappropriate and deeply concerning. Whether or not that incident is ultimately deemed unlawful, it clearly violated the standard of conduct the public expects from the highest elected official in the city. I want to be clear about something else. I do not agree with all of this council's agendas or policies, and that's okay. Disagreement is not the problem. Disagreement is part of democracy. What is the problem is the lack of transparency, dialogue, fairness, and honesty. Explain to me how it makes sense to require the public to sign up ahead of time to speak on presentations they have not seen yet. Explain how revenue collection trends are presented without corresponding discussions of expenditures. How do you have 4 subsections in closed meeting? These processes shut people out rather than invite understanding. More open communication and genuine transparency would prevent much of what has transpired in meetings. When people feel heard, tensions de-escalate. When questions are allowed and answered, trust is built. A limited public forum does not mean a curated one. Decorum rules are meant to maintain order, not to silence dissent. This isn't about personalities, it's about conduct. Sedalia deserves leadership that listens, and transparency and honesty, and Sedalia deserves respect. I'm here, I'm showing up, and I will not stop asking for transparency. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I would entertain a motion to move to closed door.
Motion to move to closed door pursuant to, excuse me, subsection, thank you. Subsection 1 for legal advice, 2 for real estate, 3 for personnel, and 12 for negotiated contracts of section 610.021 RSMO.
All in favor?
You need a roll call.
And, yeah, and well, let's go to roll call.
Robinson?
Yeah.
Ames?
Yes.
Scribner?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Hiller? Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Franklin?
Yes.
Thank you.
There's a box under my desk that wasn't there before.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it's just out further than it has been.
Thank you, sir. That's what I meant.
Robinson. Ames. Scrivener. Huggett. Miller. Foster. Foster. Franklin. Bill number 2025-383. Ordinance authorizing the stated by and between the state of Missouri. Five, three, three. Authorizing the increase. By and between. $5. August. Ross. Franklin. Robinson. Ames. Scrivener. All in favor? Twenty twenty-five, 384. Authorizing the acceptance of the Division One financial property. State West. Max Jack property. Number 2025-384. Authorizing the corporation. Property. Main Street. Max Jack property. City of Sedalia, Missouri. Clerk. Foster. Franklin. Robinson. Ames. Scrivener. Aye. All in favor? Twenty twenty-five, 385. Property. 403. Twenty-five, 385. West Fifth Street. Ross. Foster. Robinson. Ames. August. All in favor? Five, 386. One. 2026. Property. 1. Missouri, the next one. Foster. Robinson. August. Five, 387. Warren. 1 South Missouri Avenue, State Missouri, experts in city. Five, 387. Property, probably not. 1 South Missouri Avenue, Expert Construction LLC. Franklin, Robinson, Ames, Scribner, Cross, Foster. All in favor? Five three 88. Sale property. Tailwind. Five three 88. From Orange. 18.7 South Crick Avenue. That's one so. Robinson, Ames, Obvious, Foster, Franklin.